I'm PennDOT Secretary Yasmin Gramian, and today we have exciting news about fighting litter in Pennsylvania. Before I discuss the new initiatives, I want to reiterate why we are here today. Litter isn't just ugly and illegal. It also drains needed funding and degrades the natural environment. PennDOT sees a major impact from litter. PennDOT maintains more than 40,000 miles of roadways and 150,000 acres of roadside. We spend nearly $14 million a year to clean up litter. Just imagine, that money could have been used for our roads and bridges. We are grateful for the nearly 4,000 volunteers in our Adopt a Highway program. They conduct cleanups each year, saving millions of dollars on those 8,000 miles. But as a Commonwealth, we recognize we need to change behavior and not just clean up the mess. So we took action. Last year, we announced the Commonwealth's first ever litter action plan. The plan included state government plans, local government ideas, business suggestions, and enforcement needs. The administration committed to launching a litter prevention media campaign. I'm excited to announce that today we are kicking off that campaign. The campaign is called PA Fights Dirty. Every litter bit matters. This is a research-backed campaign using data from the first ever statewide litter survey and other studies. The statewide survey found an alarming amount of litter, over 502 million pieces. 502 million pieces. And every litter bit matters, because more than 85% of litter is 4 inches or less in size. In fact, cigarette butts make up 37% of pieces. Those litter pieces add up to Pennsylvania having 1,000 pieces of litter over roadway miles. The survey did show that Pennsylvania's roadside litter is half the pieces per mile than the U.S. average. But we know there is still too much costly litter in our beautiful state. And we learned that while 97% of Pennsylvanians find litter unacceptable, data suggests 40 to 50% of the population still litters. This is a result of an individual's mindset and the circumstance. Here are some examples. Litter may happen when people don't think they're littering. Litter is normal in a certain location or group. There is a lack of waste management infrastructure. The perception is someone else will clean up. People don't believe they will be caught. People, or when they're hiding something like illegal activities or eating habits. This campaign aims to raise awareness and self-reflection to drive behavior change. The media campaigns begins today and runs through November. We will use a mix of digital, in-person, radio, and TV outlets to share the message. My colleagues will share their thoughts on the campaign as well, because this is a partnership among the administration agencies, but also with many other partners. Here is another partnership example to combat litter. Our partner at Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful will talk about this in more detail, but today we are also starting to accept applications from rising 10th, 11th, and 12th grade students for our exciting new Young Ambassador program. The program aims to not only inspire, engage, and empower young Pennsylvanians to keep their communities clean and beautiful, but also develop civic leaders to champion and advocate for clean and beautiful communities across Pennsylvania. We are very excited to launch this partnership, which was also part of the Litter Action Plan. With these efforts and many more, we are confident we can reduce litter in Pennsylvania. This will not only save costs and staff time at PennDOT, but also make our state an even more beautiful place to live. Everyone has a responsibility in this mission. As state government, we can't do this alone. We also need local governments, individuals and business, and the state legislature. We look forward to doing more with our partners across the Commonwealth. Thank you. I'm now honored to introduce my colleague Ramez Ziadeh, Acting Secretary at the Department of Environmental Protection.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Secretary Gramian. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ramez Ziadeh. I'm the Acting Secretary of the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. I'm excited to join my colleagues today to announce the launch of the new statewide public awareness campaign on litter, PA Fights Dirty. Litter is a hazard to human health. As we all know, trash attracts rodents and is a breeding ground for mosquitoes that carry many dangerous viruses like the West Nile virus. Litter is a barrier. It deters us from accessing and enjoying the outdoors. Litter is also toxic to wildlife. When people toss cigarette butts on the ground, they're leaving in the environment microplastics, nicotine, heavy metals, and many chemicals, including hydrocarbons, pesticides, and herbicides. Plastics take hundreds of years to break down. Once they're thrown on the ground, they start to leach chemicals and slowly degrade into microplastics, unless someone picks them up to dispose of them properly. Lastly, litter is very costly. DEP alone has spent more than $10 million on litter cleanups and spends over $1 million every year on the management of illegal dumping activities. DEP has worked with many partners on the front lines of the litter problem for over 2 decades and is currently working to finalize a proposed rulemaking to enable municipalities in rural areas to establish trash transfer stations. This rulemaking will facilitate the establishment of convenient and affordable waste disposal and recycling services, which will lead to less illegal dumping and eliminate the need to drive long distances to waste management and recycling centers. Members of the Environmental Quality Board approved this proposed regulation unanimously last month, and we hope, after a few more steps in the review process, that this rulemaking will be finalized by the end of this year. I would also like to highlight that this spring, our Coastal Zone Management Program awarded a $40,000 grant to Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful to launch a waterway stewards program. This innovative program turns residents who use Pennsylvania's streams, rivers, and lakes into stewards of these waters, helping to document and reduce trash pollution that threatens water quality and aquatic life. For over 20 years, DEP has also funded the annual Pick Up Pennsylvania Community Litter Cleanup Program coordinated by Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful. Thousands of Pennsylvanians participate each year, where DEP provides free supplies and free or low-cost access to landfills. However, despite of all of these efforts, unfortunately, litter continues to pile up. This is why in 2018, DEP, PennDOT, and Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful partnered to conduct the first statewide research on roadside litter, as Secretary Gramian detailed. The study outlined the enormous amount of litter in Pennsylvania, the most common types of litter on roadsides, and some beliefs and attitudes about litter. Adding to this data, over 50 government, business, and community leaders shared their experiences and tips in battling litter in a litter summit organized by Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful and sponsored by DEP and PennDOT. All these efforts led to the development of the first Pennsylvania Litter Action Plan, which Governor Wolf announced last November. The plan focuses on education, enforcement, infrastructure, and partnership building. It reflects the ideas and success stories of more than 100 leaders around Pennsylvania. Many plan actions are recommended for local and state government, the General Assembly, businesses, community organizations, and residents to help in the fight against litter. And I am pleased to note that the PA Fights Dirty public awareness campaign is a direct response to one of the plan recommendations. It is critical that many more leaders, groups, and individuals join in the fight. We must work not just to clean up litter, but also to prevent littering. So if you're already in the fight against litter, make full use of the PA Fights Dirty campaign materials to amplify your efforts. If you're not yet in the fight, look through the litter action plan that we have available on our website, the DEP. You'll find many actions you can take now. And I will end here by reminding everyone that litter control and prevention is everyone's responsibility, and with everyone's help, we can win the fight against litter. Thank you, and now I will turn it over to Michael Hanna, Executive Deputy Secretary of the Department of Community and Economic Development. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, and again, thank you all for joining us. I'm Mike Hanna. I'm Executive Deputy Secretary at the Department of Community and Economic Development. I want to start off by thanking everyone who helped with creating the Litter Action Plan, which guided the development of PA Fights Dirty, Every Litter Bit Matters. And I also want to include and thank Representative Briggs for joining us today from Montgomery County. And I especially want to thank the local officials who helped us understand the many ways litter negatively impacts communities across Pennsylvania. Litter is one issue that Pennsylvanians almost unanimously agree on, regardless of their background, their income, their community size, and political affiliation. Nobody wants to live in a neighborhood with litter. It affects property values, health, and quality of life. It affects business attraction, because businesses don't want to operate on a dirty street, and customers don't want to shop in a place that looks dirty. And it affects how residents and visitors alike perceive our Commonwealth. Seeing litter strewn about our highways, roads, and neighborhoods gives people a negative impression of Pennsylvania. It might even make visitors want to choose a different destination and not return to the Commonwealth. Even the smallest piece of litter have a very real impact on communities. And the impact is more than looks. Litter cleanups, even ones run by volunteers, cost money. And I think we can all agree that we have better ways to spend our money than cleaning up trash. That's why we're asking Pennsylvanians to fight dirty by remembering every litter bit counts. That fast food cup that rolled out of your car may seem trivial, but we have an estimated 1.8 million paper fast food cups littered across Pennsylvania. The receipt that blew out of your hand that you didn't want to chase down. We have nearly 1 million receipts scattered across Pennsylvania. That cigarette butt you flicked to the ground because the smoking station was a few feet away. That mindset has helped amass 186 million littered cigarette butts. The plastic water bottle you left behind at the stadium seat or next to an overflow trash can. That plastic water bottle is one of more than 4.1 million littered here in Pennsylvania. And don't get me started on the 39 million pieces of food packaging film that could easily have been pocketed and disposed of properly the next time you pass the trash can. It's so easy to say that we've dropped or left behind isn't a big deal because it's just one tiny piece of litter. But these pieces add up to a big problem in Pennsylvania. That's why we need to remember every little bit matters. Our little pieces of trash matter, and our little actions to make sure trash is properly disposed of matters. In the coming weeks, DCED will be working with leaders to help them bring PA Fights Dirty into their communities, because I can assure you every little bit matters in Reading, in Johnstown, in Williamsport, and in Scranton, and so forth. In fact, so many PA communities have already recognized the importance of preventing litter and have started their own programs such as the Tiny Can Litter Initiative in Lancaster. Ultimately, though, we all need to do our part to make sure our waste ends up where it belongs, in a garbage can, and not on our streets, sidewalks, fields, and trails. And again, I'd like to thank everyone who's come together so far to fight dirty here in PA. And I hope that all Pennsylvanians join us in recognizing that when it comes to keeping PA clean, every little bit matters. Thank you, and now I'll turn things over to Lieutenant Adam Reed with the Pennsylvania State Police. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Colonel Robert Ivanchik with the Pennsylvania State Police, we are proud to be a partner in this new anti-littering initiative. As a department, it's part of our mission to keep the citizens of Pennsylvania and the land in Pennsylvania safe and secure. This often includes traditional crime prevention, arresting a burglary suspect, investigating a homicide, getting illegal drugs off the road, helping people at a crash scene. But another part of this key mission does include prevention and enforcement of Pennsylvania's littering laws. Legal consequences of littering in PA can start at hundreds of dollars in fines and work its way up to misdemeanor level offenses upon subsequent offenses. Our troopers commonly see anything from a driver discarding a cigarette butt out the window, like what was discussed, to investigating something bigger, like old tires dumped at an out-of-the-way dump site on a rural road. As far as littering from a vehicle that's been discussed here, I thought it was worth noting that Pennsylvania's law allows for the driver to get cited for littering if you knowingly have a passenger discarding trash out of the window. So I thought that was worth noting. As far as the dump sites go, I could speak from personal experience. You know, it's very disheartening to respond to a report of bags and bags of trash or old tires dumped at a dump site. I could think of one where there were several bags of trash dumped at a rural area, and the individual that ended up dumping the trash still has utility bills with his name on it in the trash. So that was called a clue, in the law enforcement world. So that was an easy one for us. But in all seriousness, we do see that far, far too often. So far this year, our troopers have issued 661 citations and 562 warnings for crimes code and vehicle code violations associated with littering. So we're just over the midway point of the year, and that's a lot. Our troopers see that and enforce that on a regular basis. This all falls under the same umbrella and ultimately cuts away at time that our troopers could be devoting to other criminal matters here in Pennsylvania. So please, think twice before you toss that cigarette butt out of your car window, or discard that can of soda as you're driving down the road, or decide that the easiest thing to do with old appliances or tires is to simply go to a secluded location and dump it. And our troopers are out there, they're watching for that, and they're enforcing that. It could add up to hundreds of dollars in fines or even misdemeanor charges, and again, it's simply not worth it. So please keep that in mind. Thank you, and with that, I'll turn it over to Keep PA Beautiful.
Good afternoon. My name is Phoebe Coles. I am board chair for Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful. I want to first say that I'm representing an amazing board and staff and 32 affiliates across the state of Pennsylvania who are focused on litter, trash, waste reduction, and beautification of our communities. I want to thank Kylie McCutcheon, who's here, who works with our affiliates directly and will have direct oversight of the program I'm getting ready to announce. But first I want to thank Keep Pennsylvania Beautiful's partners, PennDOT, or I hate to say the initials, but Pennsylvania Department of Transportation and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. One, for their support of our mission and to empower Pennsylvanians to have clean, safe, and beautiful communities. Two, for their partnership on the 2021 Litter Action Plan. And three, for their investment in this amazing campaign, this amazing statewide litter campaign, which is part of the Litter Action Plan that was developed in 2021. So here in 2022, not only are we focused on new messaging, but we also have a new program coming about called the Young Ambassadors Program. And this program will be geared toward engaging 20 to 30 students across the state, again, rising sophomores through seniors in high school. And we are looking forward to inspiring these young people to champion stewardship of our environment, as well as become new leaders. My personal experience is that when you help young people clean up their communities, they take those messages far and wide, not only into their homes, but they also take them into their representatives and to their school community. So this is a great place to start with these young folks, giving them the opportunity over 9 months to be educated in environmental stewardship, as well as items such as litter reduction, waste reduction, social media strategy, and even some policy. So we're excited that the applications are open today, August 1st, at keeppennsylvania.org. And I'd also like to let you know that, again, this is another great step in our goal to make sure Pennsylvania has safe and beautiful and clean communities. But please join us on November 1st and 2nd at the Holiday Inn in Lancaster, where we will be doing our second Litter Summit. This is a couple years delayed for COVID, but we will be doing our second Litter Summit. And we'd love to have you come in and hear about all the research that's been done and what's happening across Pennsylvania, learn best practices, and of course, network with other Pennsylvanians interested in having beautiful, clean, and safe communities. If you have any questions about the Young Ambassadors Program, Kylie is going to be here to answer them for you, and I appreciate everybody coming out and paying attention to how we can make this a better state and a better world. Thank you.
Any questions from the audience here? I guess not. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.